All the way from the start, I can feel it in my heart, like all the way from the start.
Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today, I'm excited to share my newest mixing template with you guys. It is called Divine Mixing Waves Template. It's for the Logic Pro X, Cubase, and Pro Tools users, and it is a completely custom designed template that was created using an actual hip-hop session. Actually, it was a song from my album that's going to be released in a couple of weeks. But I mixed it in each of the DAWs using all Waves plugins. I had a great response to my first template, which is called Template 1, that used stock plugins within each of the DAWs. But I had a lot of requests from you all saying, let's take it up a notch. So these are a lot of the same plugins, a lot of the same chains and presets that I'm using in my mixing sessions. I've been a long time Waves user, and actually the first mixing plugins I purchased were the Waves SSL4000, which I use in this template, as well as the Waves Gold bundle. Those are the only two Waves bundles that are used. However, there's a ton of plugins in there, and if you're not yet a Waves user, you're going to be able to pick those up and utilize everything within Waves template. All right, so let's talk about some of the features in Divine Mixing Waves template. Right now I have the Logic Pro X version open. You're gonna see that we have about 40 different channels here. And if you're familiar with template 1, I have convenient RMS reference levels here. And the reason why I include these is so that if you're dragging in audio and we're feeding things like compression, the thresholds are going to be a little bit different. So I wanted to give you an idea of the levels of the source audio that I was using. So all you would need to do is put on a level meter, something like that, and just measure the RMS of your source material and just match that, so that then the fader and the thresholds again on compression, all that type of stuff is going to translate a lot better and be more convenient in terms of real world results for your session. So up here at the top, we're gonna have all of our channels for our instrumentation. So I have some handy things like kick, 808 or bass, snare, hi-hats. There's some sidechain settings going on here. I have a send for the kick. You can send this bus to anything you want. Right now I have it routed to the C1 sidechain for the 808 or the bass line, just to glue those together a little bit better. You're also going to notice in each of the templates that I have these nice stacks so that you can collapse your instrumental, your verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, hook, and it has all of the different layers, and then they're routed accordingly. So we've got a hook, background vocal, aux. If you've watched my videos, you're familiar with my philosophy on using aux channels to keep things efficient, but also for organization. So with color coding, you know exactly where this stuff is heading. You look at this color, look down here, there is the corresponding aux track. So it's going to make it really easy for you to get around and know where your tracks are routed. So let's take a look at something I know you all are curious about, which is the included vocal chains in Waves template. I have a lot of different options for you. There are actually different chains for each verse. So this is going to allow you to kind of pick and choose which one works best for certain situations or performances or vocal types. You might have a female, you might have a male vocal that's just very different in terms of performance. So I've given you some options. For instance, verse 1 is relying almost exclusively on the SSL channel. So running that through a de-esser, and then we have some sends for reverb and delay. But then if you go to verse 2, we have a totally different custom chain, and each of these is going to have a pretty different sound. So this one may be a little warmer, a little more vintage sounding, versus this one, it has some high-end boosts with the VEQ, going to give you a little brighter radio type of vibe. And then going down to verse 3, we have something where we're using another different compressor, the R compressor, and we're feeding an SSL EQ. It's going to give you a little different flavor. So also this one might just be run to the reverb rather than having a little bit of a delay to give it a spatial effect. So again, the idea behind this is just to give you a couple of different options, because obviously, one chain might not work best for all of you. I've also got separate auxes for things like your punches and your ad lib. So I actually have two different ad lib chains here, going to give you a little different sound. This verse ad lib B has a nice imager on it, so it's going to widen things a little bit, give you those ad libs that punch out in the mix. And then we also have some different options for your reverb and your delay. So verb A is going to be a warm, subtle space. Verb B is your warm chamber. So you just look up here at your bus numbers and you can route any of your tracks straight to those reverbs and pick and choose which one you want and how much you want to send there. They're already EQ'd using the REQ, the exact way that I would do it in my sessions. You've also got your two options for your delay. You've got a fast delay and then a 1/4 ping pong, just to give you some ideas of what you can do there. And you can always open up these and change the timing. If you wanted to do a 1/8 delay, you could do that as well. There's also an aux with a vocal doubler preset. This is a custom design preset that you can use at your disposal for your vocal chains to get a little bit more depth, have a more exciting modern vocal. So I think this is going to be particularly useful for you as well. Finally, moving down to the master, I have custom settings for the Waves Vitamin plugin, which is going to give you a nice stereo spread and just a wider mix overall. We've got settings for the Ultra Maximizer, which is going to keep your mix in check and keep you competing level wise. And then we also have, of course, a PAS meter down here so you can monitor your RMS levels as you need to. All right, y'all, that is a quick look at the new Divine Mixing Waves template, completely customized DAW template utilizing two of my favorite mixing plugin bundles, which is the Waves Gold package as well as the Waves SSL. If you've watched my videos on the channel, you know I'm using these plugins all the time, and I'm just really excited because I know that these are going to help you get the sound you're after, and also you're going to be able to learn from the approach and just the workflow that I've set up for you in Waves template. So if you have any questions or comments about the template, feel free to leave them below. If you're curious about the possibilities of how you can get this thing to sound, listen to the song at the end of the video. I used a lot of these same vocal chains, and this was the song that I actually mixed to build the template. So hope you all enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.
It's what you need in this life. Priorities in society been crooked like 1972. These politicians feed on you. It's money over people, not the people over power. About time we start speaking, our generations turning back the hours. They think we apathetic, might be sympathetic if they realize we're on a new page. Or we stay silent and our futures fade away, gone. Don't let this life pass you by. I hope you find a reason